Oh my God, I hope you guys can hear me now. Steven Tyler, what the fuck? Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Can't hear you. One more time. Okay. Is that better? God damn, I hope it is. Jesus. Okay. This is like, seriously, like, I mean, you don't know what this contraction is like. I'm going to start all over. Thank you. Thank you for dealing with me too, because this whole house of cards could just come crashing down. All right, this is what I want to talk about. There are stereotypes for women, and there's a lot of truth in stereotypes, or there wouldn't be stereotypes. And we crave companionship. And the one thing I want to talk about today, well, actually, there's like three. Okay, this is the story of how I kissed a married man, which sounds so crappy, and I want you guys to know, like, that I would never even flirt with a married man. I've had my run-in with these things. I would never do it. This is the Rogue Yogi show. Literally, I've devoted my life to spirituality. I would never do this. However, I was in a parking lot. I'm super freaking lonely. Okay, I want to be in the middle of someone's boat. And the only people's boat I'm in the middle of as a single woman is a 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. And that is a gross, farty, poopy, burpy boat to be in the middle of. And frankly, like, there's not a lot coming in. There's a lot of me going out. There's not a lot coming in. That's, I guess, kids. I'm sure I was that way. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But this is the thing. I guess due to naivety and incredible loneliness, which is something I think we don't talk about enough. It's like, I ended up kissing a freaking married dude, and he was so hot, but there was something intuitively so off that I actually felt like I was kissing a cadaver. And it happened because I thought he was my freaking prom date. Really, people? This is like what's going on here? I can't do anything about this. I was told to buy a ring light, and I'm here. But let's get back to this. Because this guy was so cute. He had a Scottish accent, and he told me that he was here for work for just a couple weeks. I had no reason to doubt him when I realized he wasn't my prom date. And he had no wedding ring. And he was really upbeat and happy and funny, and like we were laughing our asses off, and it was great. And like I said, I don't have a bazillion friends here. And we're going to get into friendship divorce in a second. But we were talking, it was fun, and he was like, I'd love to take you out on an afternoon adventure. And I was like, sweet. I love afternoon adventures. I'm sure I kind of sounded like Pee Wee Herman, but that's fine. So I texted him before too, just to make sure. Really. I was like, just to make sure you don't have a girlfriend. I'm not even thinking anything beyond girlfriend because he had no wedding ring on. Men, wear your wedding rings. It'd be so awesome. It'd be really helpful. So yeah, I showed up for our afternoon adventure, and I was straight dressed for a hike. I had a fanny pack. Now, granted, like, I have learned to wear my fanny pack, like, the cool way, I guess, you know, whatever, but still, like, he opened the door in, like, boy pajamas, I would say, like, lacrosse shorts, a shirt, and, like, no socks. And, again, naivete and loneliness. And I was like, maybe just hasn't, like, put on his socks and shoes yet, but the shades were drawn. And I was like, what the hell? And I am telling you straight up, I went in that room and I look back on that and I'm so super grateful that nothing else happened. But honestly, something could have happened. Something could have happened that, you know, I could have been, God forbid, honestly, the only thing that hasn't happened to me in my life is that I have not been raped. And that could have very easily happened just because of the desperation of my loneliness. bringing us back to female friendships, Women's Equality Day. Female friendships are not die hard, live on, no matter what, period. That's kind of like the Taylor Swift version. Female friendships require just as much food, and mutual food. They're not something to be taken for granted. They're not something that are easy to come by and easy to keep. Like any very close, real, authentic, I'm not gonna bullshit you relationship, it does take self-awareness and honesty, which can be super awkward and uncomfortable and scary. But let's be honest with ourselves about our level of loneliness. And look where that got me. How the hell did that happen? Like, I'm still like, and just FYI, for the sake of storytelling, I actually ended up running into Scottish dude at the pool like 2 weeks ago. And I'd gone with my neighbor and her kids, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, that's Scottish dude. And I just stood right the fuck up and walked over there and sat down next to him and was like, hi, remember me? And we had a very long discussion, whatever. He's married with kids. He did move from Scotland, hence the very authentic Scottish accent. But yeah, that was a big time shit show. And it kind of shows the power of loneliness. And I think it's a lot more of a plague these days than we think it is, because it's easy to say. We have the internet, we have FaceTime, we have WhatsApp. I think that's what it's called, whatever. But actually, for some reason, it's kind of sucked the community out of at least like what feels like my daily living. I know we have all these gadgets, but like again, like even right now, I love that we're talking with each other. I love that we're hanging out and we're talking about something that's super important to me. But I still don't get to like hang out with you in my living room. It's not the same. It's not the same. And I want you all to take a look at your female friendships in particular and be honest with yourself. Are they calibrated? If they were on a scale, you and the other person, would it be equal? And I don't say this lightly, because I cherish my relationships. And I'll be very honest with you guys. I would say, I've got 2 very close friends, and then I have 2 neighbors who I am close to. That's not a lot. And that's just by circumstance, you know what I mean? And I love my kids so much, but like I cannot talk to them about everything. It's not appropriate. I don't want to like scar them for life. And what I want to ask you is, if when you look at your friendships, is there someone kind of draining you, kind of taking, like sticking a straw in your chest and sucking and not really giving anything back? And for those kind of situations, I would say, like, and I've done it twice, where I've initiated a female girl-on-girl divorce. And that, in that kind of circumstance, is actually a self-loving thing to do. We can't be knowingly, and that's why I asked you to take a look, like we can't be like knowingly like pouring and pouring without receiving anything in return. It really is that commonsensical. We empty out into the other person. They enjoy the benefit of our energy, time, and attention. We feel depleted. No good. Okay. The other thing, wanderlust. I've heard so many women talk guiltily about their desire to get away. To get away. They feel bad. They feel guilty. They've got kids. They feel like, am I a bad mom? Because they want to go away on, let's say, a 5-day retreat. Or they've just always wanted to see some city and they just want to go by themselves. And they're like, but I can't do that. That makes me a bad wife. That makes me a bad mom. Well, who the fuck is saying good or bad anyway? And what I want to say is, how much better would you be in your relationships if you did the things, especially traveling, that you really want to do and that you know would actually fill you up? That would make you a baller in every possible category of your life. And traveling, wanderlust, it's so often talked about with my clients, where there's almost like a gypsy part to them. They have a gypsy to them. And I have it too. When I went to Copenhagen, I fell in love. I was like, I could live here easily. And I can't do this right now. My kids are still too young. Like, I'm a single mom. I can't take off for a week and go to Copenhagen, but I would if I could. And I know it's like these things that we often feel guilty about. They're actually the most self-loving, self-honoring, and authentic things we can do. And it kind of brings me also to think about it. If you've got people in your life and they take time for themselves, like for example, when I was married, this is kind of creepy, but there's a term called golf widow. So I'd be a golf widow. And I was very, generously. I knew my then husband loved golf, loved it, with the core of his soul. And I do not ever want to stand in between someone and their passion. The thing is, when I look back, I'd be with babies, 2 babies. And you guys know, well, if you don't, golf can be a 4 to 5 hour commitment, depending on how far away the course is. I look back on all those years, and I'm like, Susan, there was nothing wrong with that back then, right? You were doing what you thought was best for your husband. But then I'm like, Silver, you didn't ask for anything in return. I never did anything. I never asked. Never. I was like, I'm the mom. What does that mean? I'm the mom. I don't, for some reason, inherently to myself, I don't deserve or desire to do something. I'd love to go to a rock climbing gym for a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? There is nothing done out of self-love, if it's truly out of self-love, that you can just say selfish or bad. You've got to look at your motives. And I just hear with women so often, especially about traveling, it's almost like a stigma. What does that make me if I want to travel alone for a weekend or something, especially if they're ingrained in the family? And I say, nothing. It makes you a woman who wants to travel alone somewhere for a weekend. That's it. There's no good. There's no bad. It's the motive. It's always the motive. Are you doing that because you want to escape a marriage that isn't fulfilling? That's a different story. But if you just are dying to go see Cirque du Soleil in Vegas for a weekend because you've always wanted to, do it. I'd say that's about it. One more thing. That's right. Women's equality. Women's equality. I just want to say, as someone who dips in and out of the dating apps, this is kind of an interesting one. Probably get some shit about this in the comments, but we have so much goddamn pressure to keep our looks up. My hair is dyed. I've had Botox. I usually like paint my nails. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm a single mom. Like I gotta keep up my looks and stuff. But when I'm on dating apps, I gotta tell you, the people who are my age, I'm 47, I'm like, damn, you look like Santa Claus. So I don't know what's going on there, but I can tell you, I've only got on like 3 dating app dates. Every time I've done a $10 background check on these guys. And I can tell you this, for all 3, again, that is not a wide net nor a wide pool, each 3 of these guys were lying about their age. So I don't know what that's all about. Like, I know we get all this crap, a reputation for like lying about our age or like lying about our weight or whatever. But I will tell you, every single man I've ever done a background check on, every one of them, one guy lied by 1 year. A year. And it wasn't even like a year like 39 to 40. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a decade changer. It was just a freaking random year. So remember that, women. We kind of are badass. We do a lot. Generally speaking, I think we hold ourselves unequally to men. I think we're harder on ourselves in general. I think we see a lot of shit in the media that would have us believe female friendships forever, like with birds tweeting, and that's not the case. We have a lot to offer, but having a lot to offer means needing a lot of replenishment. And that's really what I wanted to say today, was don't expect to be doing it all, because we can and we do, without making sure it's really on us that we're getting what we need in return. So, hey, thank you. That's, I guess, what I wanted to say. We're badass, but we need fuel in the tank. And if we're not getting it, it's on us. And that includes me. I'm like about to join what's it called? When you're bad at something, hiking group, basically. Because like I'm kind of out of answers. I'm like, I love God more than anything, but I'm not into religion. So the church thing's out. You know, I'm trying to get creative. And these dating apps are just depressing. But again, it's really on me to find that nourishment. To find the kind of quality relationships that matches my vibe, where I can really be myself and the other person likes me for that. They don't just tolerate me. So I love you guys. I'm sorry I went on unmuted. I don't know what to say. I've been doing this for like 7 years. I still suck. Technology's not my thing. But I am going to try to go back and cut off the mute part. And if anyone has any questions or comments or anything, except for that melty face one, you don't need to come back to this channel again. That was just straight mean. I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, we'll go again live soon. All right, bye you guys. I'm going to try to turn this off. Don't totally know how, but we'll see. All right, bye. I think. Nope. Sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know how to do this. Oh, no. Oh, you're the best. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Some of the comments have been a little bit feisty and spicy. I'm like, what? Why are you here then? That's not my jam. But thank you so much, Blended Planet. You've always been the best. You've been like the kindest person. I'm just trying to turn off this live stream, which I don't know how to do. So excuse my yapping. If I do that, what happens? Highlight? No, I don't want to highlight the last 5 minutes. I think I have to push the X. Oh, yeah. Okay, bye, you guys. Thank you. Okay.